Welcome to Mantle Flight, where bold ideas take off and untold truths soar beyond the limits of ordinary thinking. Then fasten your mind, you're cleared for takeoff, Captain. Ibrahim Traoré has once again seized global attention, this time not with a fiery speech or a military maneuver, but with an infrastructure blueprint that could redefine the very landscape of Burkina Faso. In a bold move that stunned observers both inside and outside the continent, Traoré unveiled a revolutionary new road construction strategy designed to accelerate development while cutting costs and increasing long-term durability. At the core of this plan lies an innovative approach. Using recycled vehicle tires as a foundational layer beneath newly poured concrete roads, this method not only offers a sustainable way to deal with waste rubber, but also significantly strengthens road resilience against weather and heavy traffic. The visual rollout of the project has already begun, with scenes of vast highways under construction, tire-lined paths being layered with concrete, and construction workers in yellow helmets coordinating efforts with high-tech equipment and modern machinery. What sets this project apart isn't just the material innovation, it's the scale, speed, and ambition behind it. Traoré's administration is working with military efficiency, mobilizing local engineers, labor forces, and domestic industries to execute the rollout with minimal reliance on foreign contractors. This is not just a road project, it is a symbol of sovereignty, independence, and modernization led by African ingenuity. Critics, both domestic and international, have expressed skepticism about durability and safety, but early results from pilot areas have silenced many doubters. The roads are holding strong, traffic is flowing smoother, and more regions once isolated by poor infrastructure are now connected to economic centers. Farmers, traders, and educators are all seeing their lives transformed. By reducing transport time and improving accessibility, this road plan is becoming a vehicle for nationwide revival. Traoré's message is clear. Burkina Faso will no longer wait for handouts or beg for development. It will pave its own path, literally and symbolically, toward a future built by its own people. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, his newly unveiled road construction plan marks a bold departure from traditional infrastructure development in West Africa. What sets this initiative apart is its remarkable use of recycled rubber tires as a foundational layer beneath concrete. This innovative method, though simple in concept, holds the potential to revolutionize the future of road building in Burkina Faso and possibly across the entire African continent. The technique involves strategically laying down discarded vehicle tires, tightly packed and aligned in rows, as a buffer between the earth and the concrete surface. These rubber tires provide enhanced shock absorption, superior load distribution, increased resistance to cracking and erosion, all while contributing to environmental sustainability. The idea stems from a fusion of modern engineering principles with urgent local realities. Burkina Faso, like many nations in the global south, faces the dual challenge of poor infrastructure and growing environmental pollution from non-biodegradable waste. Millions of used tires are dumped every year, creating massive environmental and health hazards. Burning them releases toxic fumes, while dumping them in open areas fosters the spread of disease and contaminates the soil. Traoré's government has chosen to attack two problems at once: poor roads and environmental waste. By turning these discarded tires into roadbed reinforcements, the administration is transforming a liability into an asset. Rubber, due to its elasticity and toughness, offers excellent qualities as a base material. When placed beneath concrete slabs, it serves as a cushion that absorbs the pressure of heavy traffic and shifting ground. This reduces the occurrence of cracks and potholes, which are rampant in Burkina Faso's traditional roadways. Especially during the long rainy season, roads built using this method are expected to last longer, require fewer repairs, and significantly reduce the overall maintenance cost over time. The tires also help with water, drainage, and soil stability, acting as a buffer against erosion in areas prone to flooding. These properties make rubber-reinforced roads particularly suitable for rural and semi-urban regions where traditional road structure has consistently failed due to climatic stress and material limitations. This strategy is not just environmentally clever, it's economically strategic. Burkina Faso's budget for infrastructure is limited. Importing vast quantities of construction-grade gravel and steel reinforcements is costly and dependent on foreign trade. However, used tires are readily available, inexpensive, and usually discarded as waste. By harnessing this locally accessible resource, the government reduces its reliance on imports while simultaneously creating a circular economy that benefits multiple sectors: scrap collectors, small recycling businesses, local transporters, and even tire shops now have a stake in national development. The economic ripple effect, though subtle at first glance, is a profound example of how sustainability can intersect. With grassroots job creation, there's also an important national security angle to consider. Many regions in Burkina Faso have long suffered from government neglect and poor connectivity, making them vulnerable to insurgent activity and isolation. The use of this fast, efficient, and durable method enables the rapid construction of reliable roadways, helping the central government reassert control and presence in hard-to-reach areas. With roads comes access to healthcare, to education, to trade, and to law enforcement. This road-building plan, therefore, is not merely a civil engineering project, it is an instrument of state building and territorial unification. Roads create physical and psychological links between communities and the capital. They foster a sense of inclusion and open up possibilities for upward mobility, particularly in agricultural regions that have long struggled to get goods to market. Traoré's plan is also a calculated move to elevate Burkina Faso's status as a technological innovator on the continent. While many African nations have been content to replicate road-building techniques borrowed from European models, often ill-suited to local conditions, Burkina Faso is signaling that it is willing to chart its own course. The use of tires is a context-sensitive solution based on local resources, environmental constraints, and engineering adaptability. It showcases an ability to innovate rather than imitate a subtle but powerful message in a region often seen through the lens of dependency and underdevelopment. At a time when global narratives often reduce African countries to recipients of aid or pawns in geopolitical chess games, this road construction method is a story of agency. It highlights how indigenous leadership, grounded in the realities of the land and its people, can produce homegrown solutions that are practical, cost-effective, and resilient. Furthermore, by adopting an environmentally sustainable method, Burkina Faso places itself in alignment with global climate goals without compromising its own sovereignty or falling into the traps of donor dependency. On the engineering side, the project has already drawn the attention of regional experts. Early testing of rubber-reinforced roads has shown promising results in pilot areas. These roads have demonstrated better resistance to temperature shifts, water infiltration, and heavy transport loads. Communities that previously relied on dirt, paths, or crumbling asphalt are now reporting smoother travel, fewer vehicle breakdowns, and reduced travel time. In some villages, this new accessibility has allowed farmers to double their market reach, school attendance to increase, and medical access to improve, all within weeks of road completion. The construction teams involved in the project have also reported faster build times and greater flexibility. Tires, unlike gravel or concrete, are lighter and easier to transport, especially in remote locations with limited road access. This allows construction crews to deploy quickly and adapt to terrain that might otherwise be considered unfit for standard road development. It also means fewer machines are needed for the initial groundwork. Reducing fuel consumption and cutting down costs, Burkina Faso's new road strategy, rooted in recycled tire technology, reflects more than just an environmental solution. It represents a mindset shift, a break from imported dependency models, and a forward-thinking approach to infrastructure in one of the most resource-constrained environments in the world. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's road revolution is not just remarkable for its technical ingenuity, but also for the sheer speed and resourcefulness with which it is being executed. One of the most striking aspects of the project is its reliance on materials that are already abundant within the country. instead of importing steel grids or high-grade aggregates. The construction teams are using recycled tires, locally sourced, sand, cement produced within Burkina Faso, and equipment already available to the Ministry of Infrastructure. This drastically cuts down logistical delays and costs. Tires, once considered a waste hazard, are now being collected en masse by youth groups, environmental organizations, and local businesses. This collection process has generated short-term employment and breathed life into the informal recycling sector. Cement manufacturers, previously overlooked in favor of foreign cement imports, are now receiving large contracts, stimulating domestic production and keeping the economic benefits within national borders. Equally important is the labor force behind this initiative. Rather than outsourcing work to international contractors, Traoré's government has put its faith in the hands of Burkina engineers, construction workers, and machine operators. Local universities and vocational institutes have been looped into the process to provide manpower and technical support. Students studying civil engineering are gaining real-world experience by working directly on site, contributing to design and implementation. Construction crews, many of whom were once unemployed or working abroad, are now finding well-paying jobs at home. The government has also mobilized the military's engineering corps in regions facing security threats, ensuring both road construction and territorial control simultaneously. This not only accelerates the pace of work, but also strengthens national security and pride by building with its own people and materials. Burkina Faso is setting a precedent that developing nations do not need to wait for handouts or green lights from international institutions. The rapid rollout of roads, particularly in neglected rural areas, is sending a message to citizens that their government is capable of delivering results without the need to compromise its autonomy. This has fostered a renewed sense of patriotism. In civic engagement, villagers who once saw infrastructure as a distant government promise are now participating in road clearing efforts, feeding workers, and protecting construction sites. There is a shared ownership in these projects, and that ownership is transforming how people relate to the state. This model of rapid, localized execution has also allowed the government to respond in real time to logistical challenges. In regions with challenging terrain, engineers are able to adapt road design without having to wait for new approvals from foreign consultants. If a particular stretch requires a different layering of tires or a stronger cement mix, those decisions are made on the ground within hours, not weeks. Local governance structures, including municipal councils and village elders, are brought into the planning process, helping to determine priority routes based on community needs rather than distant economic forecasts. This community-first approach ensures that the roads serve actual human needs, connecting farms to markets, students to schools, patients to clinics instead of just linking commercial zones for elite benefit. From an economic standpoint, the use of local resources has created a self-sustaining development loop. The funds that would otherwise be wired overseas to foreign contractors are now circulating within the domestic economy. Local transporters are hired to move materials. Local machine shops are repairing construction equipment. Local banks are facilitating payments. This internal circulation of capital strengthens the national economy at every level and minimizes capital flight. It's a form of infrastructure socialism, where the benefits of public spending are absorbed domestically rather than extracted by foreign entities. Moreover, this rapid implementation gives the Traoré administration a tactical advantage in terms of visibility and public perception. Every kilometer of road built becomes a tangible symbol of progress, a visual testament to national capability. In politically sensitive regions, the speed of execution also builds trust between citizens and the central government. Where state presence had previously been weak or symbolic, concrete roads and active construction sites now project authority and reliability. In essence, these roads are political statements carved into the Earth's declarations that Burkina Faso will not wait to be saved, but will save itself. The project's decentralized. Execution also empowers regional and local governance. Instead of a single national rollout, different zones are managing road construction based on local timelines and capacities. This modular approach allows for overlapping phases of construction across provinces, accelerating the national impact. Without putting stress on a single logistical bottleneck, equipment is rotated efficiently, crews are moved based on need, and scheduling is managed through a real-time communications network that links district offices to national infrastructure authorities. This system of coordination, built with local talent and minimal foreign input, has demonstrated that effective governance does not require massive budgets, but sharp strategy and disciplined execution. While many outside observers continue to underestimate Burkina Faso's capabilities, this project is an undeniable demonstration of what is possible when a country puts faith in its own resources and its own people. The use of recycled materials is not just a clever workaround, it's a philosophical commitment to independence. The speed of execution is not merely a feat of logistics, it is a national call to action.
Yes.
Every layer of concrete poured on tie reinforced. Roads is a layer of history being rewritten, 1 kilometer at a time. Tools and talent that come from within the soil of Burkina Faso itself. Improved infrastructure in Burkina Faso is rapidly transforming the country's economic and social landscape, especially in regions that have long been isolated by impassable roads and poor transportation networks. With the rollout of new durable road systems driven by recycled tire foundations and locally sourced materials, the government is stitching together communities that were previously cut off from trade, services, and opportunities. This nationwide road building initiative is not just a construction project. It's a unifying force that is connecting the heart of Burkina Faso to its most remote edges, fundamentally changing how people live, work, and interact. For generations, farmers in remote villages have struggled to bring their goods to market. Poor road conditions meant that produce would spoil in transit or fail to reach urban centers altogether. The cost of transportation was so high that profits were nearly erased before a product even reached a buyer. Now, with smoother, sturdier roads reaching deep into agricultural zones, farmers are seeing new possibilities. Trucks can now reach previously inaccessible areas. Markets are expanding. Rural entrepreneurs are finding customers in cities they once considered out of reach. The direct result is a reinvigoration of local economies. As fresh produce. Another powerful benefit of this new infrastructure is social cohesion. Regions that were once neglected now feel seen and valued. Roads bring people together not just physically but emotionally. Families separated by distance can now visit each other more easily. Community events are drawing attendees from neighboring towns. Intermarriage between distant regions is rising. With every new road, Burkina Faso is becoming more interconnected, not just in terms of trade and logistics, but in culture and community. These roads are also enabling the government to exert more consistent authority in hard-to-reach areas. With the rise of militant activity in the Sahel region, state presence in vulnerable zones is critical. Military and security forces can now deploy more efficiently. Supplies can be moved quickly to support regional peacekeeping efforts. This increased mobility strengthens national unity and stability, allowing the government to maintain control without always depending on foreign intervention. The project's structure also ensures that its infrastructure development doesn't remain confined to urban elites. Roads are not just being built in capital cities or economic hubs, they're being extended into rural zones where they have the greatest transformative potential. This equitable distribution ensures that growth is shared, not hoarded. It prevents the kind of uneven development that has fueled resentment and regional inequality in many African nations. The Burkina Faso model is showing what inclusive infrastructure can look like. As more roads are completed, they're being accompanied by roadside businesses that were previously unthinkable in these regions. Fuel stations, repair shops, food stalls, and even local markets are springing up to serve the new traffic. These small enterprises are injecting energy into local economies and creating jobs for thousands of people. The entire ecosystem of economic life is being reshaped, one road at a time. This transformation is not happening by chance. It's part of a national vision to use infrastructure as a vehicle for liberation from poverty, from isolation, from dependency. The road itself becomes more than a path from one point to another. It becomes a symbol of progress, a tool for empowerment, and a promise to the people that they have not been forgotten. Under Traoré's leadership, each kilometer built is a step toward a more united, self-reliant Burkina Faso one, where every citizen, regardless of geography, has a real chance to participate in and benefit from the nation's growth. If you believe Africa deserves its own path to greatness, built by its people, for its people, then this is your channel. Subscribe right now to stay ahead of the stories that mainstream media won't tell you. Like this video if you support innovation over dependence, and drop a comment to let the world know. Africa is rising, and you're part of it. Your voice isn't just welcome here, it's essential.